This is the video lesson for number 3 on the Solving Equations with Radicals worksheet. If you haven't watched number 1 and number 2, please go do that now. Similarly, if you're sure that you know what to do on number 3, please go ahead and just get started on your own. While you're watching, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them as comments under the video. All right, here's our equation. X squared minus 14 is equal to 5x plus 67 minus 5x. We're solving for x, and in order to do that, we really need to do what looks like solving for x squared. Remember that anything you see me type, you should also type, or you should also write on your worksheet. You can try to type it on your worksheet, but I don't promise that it will go well. So it looks like we have some combining like terms to do before we go on. The left-hand side, x squared minus 14, that's kind of all set to go. But the right-hand side, 5x plus 67 minus 5x, we can cancel out those 5x's, right? When we combine like terms, we get 5x minus 5x, which is 0. So I don't even need to write that down. But 67 stays. All right. So I don't even have any x terms to worry about anymore. Let's add 14 to both sides to get rid of that constant that's on the same side as our x squared. So I'll do plus 14 on both sides of my equation. And when I do this, I end up with x squared on the left-hand side, and those 14s cancel out. And that's going to be equal to 81, which is 67 plus 14. So x squared is 81. Remember that when we have x squared, there are two possible solutions to our equation, right? Because there are two ways to multiply a number by itself and get 81. We could take 9 times 9, which we all know is 81, or we could take negative 9 times negative 9, because a negative times a negative is a positive, so that will also give us a positive 81. So there are two solutions to this equation. Oops, pause, hang on. There are two solutions to this equation, x equals 9 and x equals negative 9. Remember that we show that using the plus or minus symbol. So it's a plus sign on top of a minus sign. That shows that our answers are positive 9 and negative 9. We could also write that as negative 9 and positive 9 using curly brackets. We could say x equals negative 9, comma, 9. That means it equals either one of them. All right? Now let's check our work. So we need to check that this is true for negative 9 and positive 9. I'm going to kind of do this both at once. We have x squared minus 14. So if my answer is x equals positive 9, that becomes 9 squared minus 14. And the right-hand side of my equation will become 5 times negative 9 plus 67 minus 5 times negative 9. When I'm dealing with 5, I'm very confused. I'm so sorry about this. All of these should be positive 9s. So please go back through and change this. I was working a little ahead in my brain. All of these 9s that we just typed should be positive 9s. We're doing that separately from the negative 9s. Because in our second equation, they're all going to be negative 9s. So x squared becomes negative 9 squared minus 14. And then the right-hand side, this is where the 9s are negative. I apologize for any confusion before. So this will be 5 times negative 9 plus 67 minus 5 times negative 9. Okay. I did these next to each other on purpose. Let's look at what happens when we try to solve them or try to simplify them. 9 squared is 81 minus 14. And that's equal to 5 times 9 is 45 plus 67 minus 45. The other side of the equation, I've got negative 9 squared, which negative 9 times negative 9 is positive 81, minus 14. And that's going to be equal to 5 times negative 9, which is negative 45, plus 67, and then minus 5 times negative 9, which those two negatives cancel out and will be a positive, so plus 45. So my equations look a little different right now, but unlike in number 2, they're going to end up giving me the same answer when I finish evaluating. So let's check it out. 81 minus 14 is equal to 67. And then on the right-hand side, I've got 45 plus 67 minus 45. I don't even need to like worry about computing that because I know 45 and negative 45 are opposites. So all I'm left with is 67. When I do this for the negative 9 value of x, I end up with the exact same thing, right? 81 minus 14 is 67 equals, this time the negative 45 is first and the positive 45 is second, but they still are opposites, so they still cancel out. And in both cases, I get 67 equals 67. At this point, you've watched all the videos for the Solving Equations with Radicals worksheet. You've completed the front. Please flip over to the back and try solving those problems on your own. Good luck!